This conference will
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Surat WIT SFUG. This is Fun Learn Season 2. And here I welcome Ajinkya Das for Talk for Reimagine Component Designing. Hey, Ajinkya. Welcome to Surat WIT Group. We are so excited to see your session. Ajinkya, I think you're not audible. Ajinkya, I cannot hear you guys. Is it for me or for everybody? Can anybody help me in the chat window?
this
All
conference will now
right.
be recorded.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Surat WID SFUG. And we are on Fun Learn Season 2 Talk 4. Here I welcome Ajinkya Das for Reimagine Component Designing session. Hey, Ajinkya, we are so excited to take away a lot of learnings from you.
Thank you so much, Isha. I'm glad to join and having this opportunity to talk with the Surat WIT group and looking forward to give as much as I can.
That's awesome. I'm sure all our trailblazers are super excited. So before starting our session, I'll announce that we'll be contacting one winner from today's session, and that would be based on the most interacting person, asking questions, giving up answers, and participating over social as well. So don't keep the learnings just to yourself, teach the ohana as well. So within 24 hours or so, group leader would contact the winner over the email. Stay tuned, guys. Enjoy. Over to you, Jankya.
Thank you, Isha. So, a very good afternoon, everyone. Uh, So let's get started. I know that you all are busy on your weekends, and thank you so much, first of all, for taking the time to learn something new on this Saturday. So, hello everyone. My name is Ajinkya Das, and I'm working as a developer success engineer at Salesforce. I also write blogs at sfdcade.com, and a few other achievements are there on your screen. Apart from that, I would like to tell you the why this session is important for me. Okay, and for others as well as I feel. So basically, when I used to work, on the different requirements with the customers, I realized that sometimes it happens that we get some customized requirement, okay, but it's out of our control. We as a developer, we only focus on the functionality wise, right? When it comes to the designing, when it comes to the customization, when it comes to the CSS customization, we always reach out to the guy or the person who is expert in it, right? So how many of you face the similar problems while developing the components, and when you receive especially the customized requirement? You can just comment out in the chat section and let me know how many of you face the similar kind of issue.
Trailblazers, this is going to be a very interactive session. Without your answering, without your inputs, that is not possible. So let's hear a yes or a no, anything you have in your mind, what you want to reply.
Yes, absolutely. So, whenever you want to say yes, you can maybe put why. And whenever you want to say no, you can put N, and you can put the gesture. So again, I'm asking, so how many of you have already faced the issues with the custom requirements from the customer, where customer is requesting something which is beyond the standard CSS available, or the standard Salesforce Lightning design systems can do. Like for example, you may design the uh, custom PDFs, right? For the generating the PDFs, we need a custom CSS. When it comes to the Lightning communities, sometimes the customer want the look and feel just like the websites, right? So in those scenarios, we need to customize the things as per the design required by the customer. Is that correct? So how many of you agree with me that it is important to know how to customize the Lightning components when it comes to the custom design requirements? Just let me know in the chat section. I'm waiting. I'm eagerly waiting for your response on the chat. Great, great, great. I can see so many of you believe that yes, it is needed and it is important for us to understand the and learn the customization. Oh, all right. So today, I'm pretty much sure that if you learn these things and if you use these tricks, you don't have to go to the CSS expert anymore. So let's get started. So today we have the these this is the today's agenda, where we are going to see only 7 things which are important for this session, and we'll start with the why we need to reimagine the designing. What are the designing phenomenons, the designing principles, the design color choice rule. Okay, then the what if there is a requirement for the customer where there's an existing customization, okay, where the component is already built and you need to customize it as per the need. All right, and at the end of the session, I'm going to share the resources which are very, very important, and it will be really helpful for you, not only when you are developing something on the particular platform, but it will be really helpful for you whenever you are developing anything on the internet. So, and the end of the session, I'll be open for your all the questions and answers. Yeah, and the end point, which is invisible here, is we'll have a great photo session at the end of the session. So, guys, please be ready to turn on your cameras at that time. All right, let's get started. So my first question to you, how many of you, for how many of you, this picture is familiar? When we all are into our childhood, how many of you have drawn or sketched this type of pictures? Great, 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 great. So when we are, there is something common between us. That is the guys who are, oh my God, a lot of people. So great, great, great to see. Without this picture, our childhood is, you lived your childhood completely. So whenever there is, in our schools or college, we were on the primary schools. So when our teachers told us that, hey, uh, told me especially, hey Ajinkya, can you draw a picture with the your dream house or the dream picture, okay, with the sceneries. So at that time we usually draw this kind of picture, right? But now if I'll ask you that, when we are into the childhood, our imagination for drawing the pictures is this. If somebody asks you, what is your dream house? That will be like this, right? But now, once we, grown up, right? If somebody asks you, what is your dream house? Then our answer will be this, isn't it? So, for how many people this right side picture is their dream house? Absolutely great. So when we are into the childhood, we know that if we just need to draw uh, the sun, the one tree, then the river, then the mountains and the house and the green grass or the beach we can draw, right? And we just enjoy filling up the colors, right? Now, what happen is once we grown up, right? Our imagination turns from this particular house to this particular house. Similarly, when nowadays, if somebody asks you which is your dream house, you will be look for something like this, right? Instead of this, isn't it? So similarly, when we develop something or we create something, okay, so look into the perspective from the artistic view, okay, so we sketch something, we fill up some colors, and that is superb, right? So but some people, okay, some people are not okay with this. They want this type of architecture, right? That's the reason when somebody, if you want to build a house, you hire architect, then the interior designer, and the many, people who can add on the value to the design of your house, isn't it? So similarly, that's the reason, that's the important reason why we are here today. When the requirement is the same requirement or the same UI which we are using from long time, it is okay that we draw this drawing. Okay. But now, as the requirement is to have something like this, right? We need to customize this house particularly into this, isn't it? So how many of you agree that it is it is very, very necessary when the requirement is like this? We need to reimagine the paintings or the color filling, the way we used to draw and fill up the colors, isn't it? Are you guys agree with me? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So now we'll just move to our next slide, and which is very, very, very important. All right. So before look into the design phenomenon, okay, let me tell you one thing. How many of you are aware that whatever your browser is showing you, okay, or whatever it displays on your browser, right, or the URL, consist of, so how many which languages are consist of, are responsible for showing you this particular UI on the browser? For example, if I'll go to the new tab, it's showing me the Google, right? So which are the base languages you believe that these are the factors which are just because of these languages, this particular picture, this particular text is displaying to me? Yeah. So, any guesses on this? All right. People are putting the answers. Yes, yes. Nivedita and Nakshada, you guys are correct. So, every element, okay, every element which is running on the browser, the base of it is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, the framework which are built on it, like for example, the JavaScript different libraries, the Bootstrap or the Kamachi, I think mentioned the Bootstrap. Yes, the Bootstrap is the framework which is designed on top of it. Okay, so but the baseline for all is the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, all right. So these frameworks are added to provide the customized design on top of it. All right. Now, the question is how I'll come to know that whatever I'm developing right now on my uh, uh, on my browser is compatible with the browser which I am using. So, how many of you also face the issue with the customer where you develop something on the Chrome browser, but customer said that it's not working on Firefox or Safari browser? Have you ever faced this problem, or your customers, your client face this problem? Great, great, great. I can see. Yes, compatibility issue. Yes, exactly. So what happen is, first, when we develop something, we ignore the things that whether the component which I'm developing or the CSS or the customization I'm using inside it, whether it is supported by the browser or not. Okay. So what happen is, if I am using the Chrome browser, I also expect that customer or the client is also using the Chrome browser. But that's not the thing. Customer or client can use the different browsers. And for that, we need to do one check before developing anything. And that is the MDN documentation. So how many of you are aware about the MDN documentation? Okay, so whenever you want to check the compatibility, okay, every developer should first check whether the CSS, the JavaScript, the whatever I'm trying to run on the browser is compatible with that browser or not. Okay, so every developer first check the MDN web docs. Okay, so do not worry, all the links will be there in the resources section once at the end of the session. So do not worry at all, you're not going to miss anything. So first we'll come here, we'll check whether the HTML or the HTML element I'm trying to use is compatible on my browser or not. I'll come here, I'll check the tags which I'm trying to use it, and I'll first check whether it is compatible with my browser or not. If it is compatible, then only I'll go and use that on my inside my code, right? So that we can understand the compatibility is there. The code I'm trying to run, the compatibility is there. All right. Then the next thing, okay, next thing, which, like for example, let me show you. Yeah. So for example, this is my title. Okay. So if I want to check whether how this will look inside my browser when I'll run on this particular browser, I have the code pane open. I'll just put the HTML and it will just refresh it. We just put inside the div tag and it will be this. I think it's still loading. Let me check for the normal one. Yeah. All right. So the title tag I was not able to directly use inside the div tag, right? So because the issue is not with the tag, the issue is with my internet, and that's the reason it was not loading. So all right, so you can check whether something is trying to run on your browser, and that tag is compatible with your browser or not, whatever you are using inside your code. All right. Then the next thing which you are going to check is, now the question is, Ajinkya, how can I know? I mean, there are different tags, okay? There are a lot of tags. How can I remember all those tags? So, how many of you face the same issue? Like when I started learning the customization and the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript or web application, I used to face the issue that which tag I should use, right? So how many of you face the similar kind of issue? I mean, when to use what tag? I mean, it's really difficult, right? Great, great, great. I can see Rupa, Kamakshi. Yeah, a lot of people face it, this similar issue, right? Because there are a lot of tags. How can I remember all those things, right? Even if I check the compatibility, but I can use the tag, and tomorrow I wake up and I forgot everything, like what I have used, right? So for that, I have a perfect documentation for you to learn the important tag, the most important tags for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And this is my favorite uh, documentation website, and that is DevDocs. Okay, so here you will not only find out the HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, but you will find out all the languages which you are trying to learn, okay, all the documentation along with the each and every aspect of it. Like for example, I need a tag for color, right? I want the CSS color. I'll click on the CSS color. I'll come to know I need to use the color property. I'll check whether it is browser compatible or not, which browser it supports, which version it requires, and the how it looks on the opacity property. Like for example, we need sometimes faded colors, right? And sometimes we need the complete gradient look. So in that case, particularly we use this. So here you will see the perfect important colors, okay, the perfect important colors and sorry, perfect important tags, as well as along with their properties and along with their examples, yeah, right away. And here you can see the properties, the color, the live demo of it, and here you can see the compatibility of the browser as well. So this is very, very, very useful thing to learn, right? So to start with, you can always refer this website to check the compatibility as well as the tags confusion. Okay, you just have to check which tag is, which tag and which property it has, and there you go. You just have to use it. Like for example, I want to color, right? So now, if you'll ask me, Ajinkya, how you can demonstrate that? All right. So we have the div tag. All right. So I'm going to style it. Let me tell you the basic syntax. Okay. So I need to write the class as I'm using the internal CSS. Then I'll just put my color. Okay. So this is my class. I'll just come here onto the CSS. I'll put a dot, the your class name, color, curly braces inside that. Now, I want the color, the background color of this particular text to be red. Okay, so I'll just put the background color is equals to red. All right. Can you see it changed? Now I want the text color to be white. Yeah, it changed. Now I want the font weight to be bold. Yeah, it's bold. Similarly, as I already know these tags, right? So that might be the reason I was able to recall it. But these tags I have learned one by one from the website which I just mentioned, and I tried each and everything. But it's very easy to custom to play with it, just like the drawing we used to do in our childhood, right? So basic thing is you just have to draw it, you just have to color it, right? And how to customize it, well, we will gonna check that as well, right? Now the next thing which I would like to show is the CSS properties, right? So we just saw that how the markup is there. There will be markup will be there. The CSS will be there, and how the interaction between these two codes may happen, right? We just have to put, we just have to mention the class which we want, the custom class, right? And then we just written the CSS, right? The next thing, which is very important, right? Now, the similar question. So, Ajinkya, do we have something which is something like a cheat sheet, right? Which we can, every time whenever we want something, will just carry out that cheat sheet, and we can customize the CSS as per our need, right? Or the common CSS properties, right? Like for example, the font property, the text color property, the background, the classification, the box. Okay, what was that, right? So I am going to show you for the something which is very close to my heart, and probably this will be for you too. And this particular cheat sheet is not designed by some ordinary person. This is designed by the Stanford University, and the students from the Stanford University are using it. So whenever I stuck somewhere, okay, like for example, I want to change something in the font, but I forgot, oh, what I need to use, or which HTML parameter I should use, and then use the CSS inside it. Like for example, here I have used the div tag, but what if I'll use the heading tag, which is h1 tag, right? So in that case, yeah, in this case, you will see that, oh, this is h1 tag. I need to customize the h1 tag. Now, what I'll do, I'll just select what are the properties which are available for the font. Okay, so like for example, I have this property. I'll just go there. Yeah, and I'll just modify this. I'll put the class. There you go. You can see the custom text is there, right? So this document particularly is very handy, and you just have to check which tag you want to use, the HTML tag in front of it, and the CSS you can customize with it. So likewise, we have the font properties, we have the text properties. Okay, so what exactly the difference between, so can somebody tell me the difference between font and text really quick? if someone can. All right. So I'll tell you. So we have the font properties and we have the text properties. So whenever we want to customize it, we use the font properties. Okay. But when it comes to the letter, okay, like for example, the word spacing, the letter spacing, the text decoration, the text for transformation, then the text alignment, then we use these properties. As well as for the color and background, we use these properties. Whenever it comes to the background or the color, just like I use the background color, right? So you can use these properties and the classification of these properties, right? For example, whether those are list style or the list with the image, right? So you want the sometimes the position of the list. So these properties are handy and these will be very, very useful in that matter. All right. Now, the next thing. Okay, so these are the properties which with which we can play with the CSS, right? And the next thing, which is the best thing I have, used till my career for the CSS. Now on the screen, okay, so this is uh, the best thing. Why I'm saying this, this is the best thing because when we are into the childhood, we always used to get, these sketchbooks where the blank diagrams are there and we need to fill up the colors. Now, in the similar way, if I have this lightning component, okay, and I want to fill up the color and they change the color as per my need, what I should do, okay, so I have something which is called as the Chrome browser called as pesticide. If I'll click on this is magical. Okay, so it will show you directly the div or the tags where the which are present on your screen. So how I can fill up the color on the screen? I just have to right click on inspect. Okay, I have the ready div. I just need to click here, select where need to customize. Like for example, I need to change the background of this. I don't like this gray background. All right, so I'll go here. I'll just select a different background, hit enter. Okay, this is the which class it is using, SLDS image title. Okay, SLDS image title is this. I'll I'll just click here, the quickly change the background color to red, and you can see the color for the background is red. I'll just turn off the pesticide and you can see the color for all the components are red. What I'll do, I'll just go to this class. I'll just paste this extra code of line, which is background color. All right. So similar way. Now the next question for me is, so Ajinkya, this looks very weird, right? This is not something which we use in a modern way of web designing. So, is there any way we can use the color palettes which will be very useful to us? Then the answer is yes. And the my best recommendation will be for the custom colors is this. So this is a website which gives the color combination with the color palettes. Okay, like for example, I want to use the blue. Okay, I'll just go here, search for the blue. Yeah, it will show me all the combination. All right, I like this one. I'll just click on it, copy it, go here, and I'll just replace it with this color. Yeah, and I can see the color is changed. Now it looks better. I can also change the text color to white to look the beautiful, right? So similar way, you can identify which div to fill up a color, select inspect the element, select it, try it out, make a lot of experiment here. and then put that CSS into your actual CSS class. All right. This is a really great tool, which will be, do not worry, the link will be there at the end of the session in the resources. All right. Now, what we have the next. So we have checked the HTML CSS interaction, the CSS properties from the CSS chit sheet, and the optimization with the pesticide tool. All right. So next thing, we have the design principles. So design principles are something which will never change. Okay, many technologies or many frameworks will come, but these design technologies will never come. Whether you're using the standard SLDS, Salesforce SLDS, whether you're using the custom material UI, whether you're using custom CSS or any other framework. Okay, so there is importance of this design principle. When it comes to the customization, we need to understand and keep in mind these parameters. So let's talk about each one of them quickly. Okay, so the first one is clarity. Okay, so when uh, we talk about the clarity, okay, so the user must be able to recognize what component it is, what you design it is, right? Like for example, if I'll just go here and if I'll have, okay, I can see the brands, right? I can that means that which brand I want. So I would like to go with BMW. I'll select it. So it will show me the BMW result, right? But it's taking some time, right? So the next parameter which we consider, okay, is efficiency, right? You can see if I'll click on back, it's taking some time to load, and which is something weird. Why users should wait, to load these images and then experience the this garage, right? Then the next thing, which is very, very important, okay, when it comes to the designing perspective, is the consistency. Okay, so the consistency means that if this particular component looks like this on my web, okay, how it will look like on my uh, mobile perspective as well, right? So it should be compatible and it should be consistent on all of the devices. The best example of this is you use a Facebook, right? So when we use a web version of Facebook, it is similar. When we use the application of Facebook, it is also the similar kind of interface, the similar colors they are using, the similar features we can access, right? And the most important is beauty, right? Who don't like the beauty? And that's the major and most important part of the beauty, right? So for example, we have the similar thing. Okay, here we have the different brands. I can click on it, I can see the products, right? But I have to wait until the images are loading. I need to click on it, right? And then again I need to go back to choose the different brand, right? So this is something which is wasting my time. I mean, it's good, but if I'll select something, okay, I don't like this, I need to click on back and then I again need to choose different. But what if something similar to this, okay, I have all the products listed on this particular website, it looks good, right? I can immediately select the brand which I want, and I can see the products which are available under that brand, right? I don't have to do much, clicks and much efforts, and it is seamlessly and fast, efficient as well. If I'll select this, it's working fine. It's showing me in the cart as well, right? So this is more efficient component than this particular, right? So we talk about the clarity, why actually the user should use it. There should be no confusion why I'm using this particular application. It should be efficient, it should be fast like this. There should be a consistency, and there should be a beauty. Definitely the beauty matters, right? We groom, we put makeups, right? for just to it gives us a confidence, right? Similarly, when it looks beautiful, right? A lot of marketing advertisements, you can see the lot of graphics are there, the lot of VFX are there. They are putting so much effort on the beauty part, right? And the fifth parameter is value. So I have received a great uh, advice from my senior once, that they said that always look at the value, whatever you're developing. Okay, is it creating a value to the end user? Is it something which user is looking for? The component is great, the component is efficient, its component is best, but it is not useful for me, right? People are selling credit cards, but I'm not using credit cards. Then the benefits which I'll receive with the credit cards are no use for me, right? Similarly, you should always understand that it should create a value, right? Like for example, we use Apple, right? The functionality wise, if you will ask me, right, I can say the Apple also perform this almost the same features. Okay, the innovation wise, definitely there are more features, but it can call, it can receive messages, it can use WhatsApp, we can use Facebook on the lower end devices also, right? But why it is expensive, right? So the major reason, it creates a value. Similarly, Salesforce gives the customer the value, the best possible way, all the features, all the innovation, the continuous innovation, all the best and top edge feature it's trying to provide you, so that you can all the way use the latest technologies and the latest uh, features, right? So these parameters we need to keep in mind every time when we design something or we customize, as well as in the standard way as well, right? Then the next thing, which is design, color, and choice. Okay, so if we understand this, then you can design any component as per your need, and that's my promise. Okay, so let's take a look what we need to do first. Okay, so this is something which we always heard from our seniors, that give us a wireframe, give us a sketch what we are going to, what component we are going to create, right? So we need to first draw it. We called it as a wireframe. You can use any tool for that. You can use the sketch, which is recently available only for Macs, to give the ready SLDS UI and create a frameworks. But you can use a pen and paper. You can use the online tools, or you can just draw and scan it and put it, right? So first thing is you should have the imagination of what you are trying to, what your customer requirement is. The next thing is, this is just my wireframe. So how it should look, right? So I'll say, okay, I'll put the uh, sample colors into it, right? But still, it doesn't look like, the component which customer is looking for, because this is not something which we used to draw in our childhood, right? Now, the next thing which is depending upon the each one of us imagination, and that's the reason we have the title as Reimagine, right? So we need this imagination is my own. Okay, you could imagine the same type of component in a different way. There are different possibility, right? You may have the different thinking, right? It should not work like this, it should work like this, it should work like this, it should look like this, right? So this finishing touch is very, very important when it comes to the customization, and that's what we are trying to learn today, right? So this is something we always need to reimagine. Okay, so this is very, very important part. which we always need to think, because this thing and this thing anybody can do. But this is your personal imagination, which will add an impact and the value to the customer or the client. All right. With that, let's customize something together, right? So if I'll come here, I have this particular component here. Okay. So as per my customer requirement, I designed this. Okay. Now, based on the explanation, right, we need to apply all the logics here. We need to customize it as per the need. We need to keep in mind the design principles, right? So now I need your help with this and suggestion what we can customize here and what can add the value into it. Okay, so you can put your reviews, you can observe this component, and you can put your views in the chat section that what should be customized quickly. If everyone can please suggest, right? So based on your observation, what do you think should be changed here? Okay, Nivedita said colors, orientation text, color combination. All right, all right. Okay, I understood the color combination. I can see the orientation of text definitely. So can will that be fine if I'm creating a note? Okay, like for example, if I'm changing something, okay, and the test these are the test details, right? So if I'll create my notes like this, will that be fine? Title two times. All right. That was just a sample one, definitely. And alignment of button. Okay, okay, okay. Now, based on our current observation, okay, all right. So what I'll do, can you see this thing? This title is having a different background. These notes are having a different background, but we want the both this is a single record which we are going to create here, right? So this should be on the same page, isn't it? Yeah. So for that, what I'll do, I'll just use a pesticide. I can see I have a table where these inside these two columns, right? We have this title, we have this node detail. Let's take a look at the code. All right. So here is the code of the same component. I have used the inline CSS. Okay, so we have used the internal CSS here. Here we have used the internal CSS where we define the class and the class name, and then we define the parameters inside the class. Then the next possible way you can try is inside the you can put the style and use the inline CSS, right? So first thing which I would like to change inside this is I want this title to be just above the node details. All right. So I'll just off the pesticide. I'll go here. I have this title. Where is my title? Yeah, here's the title. All right. So what I'll do, I'll just remove from this. Okay. I want just the above. Yeah. So already the style is added, so it will be inherited from the this p tag. I don't need the extra. I'll just save it. All right. All right, I'll just refresh it. All right. Isn't it look good or better than the previous one? Right. Now, the next thing I don't like this button, right? This is not the modern one, right? So, for example, I want to use this application on my Android. The user is more familiar with the Android, even though user is using the Salesforce application, but he want the look and feel like the Android. So, can somebody tell me which design framework does Android use for the application? Quickly, I'll repeat. Which design framework does Android use to give the no, not Visual Studio. So design framework is it's the CSS framework which Android uses. Okay. So like for example, Android is by Google, right? So I click here, right? This is the UI. This is wow. This is great. If I click here, oh wow. So this UI has the framework which you can use inside your Salesforce as well to customize because the client's requirement is he want the UI just like the Android. No, not React. No, not Phone Gap. Not Android Studio. Android Studio is used to develop the application. I'm talking about the framework. Just like we use the Bootstrap, just like we use the React, right? So which framework design framework does Android uses? All right, I'll tell you. So the not Flutter. Flutter is also the language. No. So the Android uses material design. Okay. If I'll just search for material design, it will give me the complete documentation of the material design what Android uses. Like for example, if I'll click on the button, right? Where do you have the button? I'll show you. If you click on the button, right, it gives us that bubble effect, right? That bubble effect is from the material UI. Whether you're using the different languages to develop it, but the design for it, do we have the samples? Yeah, if I'll click here, okay, these are only theming. Let me, all right, let me show you directly inside the Salesforce, and then maybe you will understand it more. All right. So I am replacing this current button with the material UI, which I have already added to the another button, right? You can see the only button tag. Okay, so this is the browser compatibility. Okay, so this is a standard HTML tag which you can use. We use the lightning button, right, to give the lightning interface to the button. Okay, so in case of customization, you can use the standard HTML and customize it, but make sure that the properties which you are trying to use it inside the button should be compatible and as per your need. All right. Uh, I'm waiting for it to deploy it. All right. Also, meanwhile, while it's deploying, as there are color factors, okay, which we need, and the marketing people are, making uh, the taking an advantage of it. Okay, so each and every color gives a meaning. Okay, like for example, red says that stop there, right? It's an alert, right? Blue is for the trust, okay, which represent the trust, right? The yellow and orange represents the energy, okay. The green represent the forgiveness or the acceptance, okay. So where we are, yeah. So when you are using these color palettes, also make sure that the color which you are using is also defining your product. All right. Can you see the new beautiful button which is available here? If I click on it, just observe this thing, this effect. Have you seen this while using the Android devices? Yes. So these kind of buttons, right? These kind of buttons and these kind of effects, similar. Can you imagine if I'll embed everything just like the Android button? User will never identify that I'm using the Salesforce, right? Although we are using and he's using the Salesforce, but due to the customization, he will never identify as he's more familiar with the Android UI, right? And his requirement is he want the customization like this. Now, let me show you something. How many of you fill up this form, this particular form? This is same similar as the uh, Google UI, okay? Google Forms, right? So my question to you is, if this looks like the Google UI form, is it a Google UI form? No, it's my Lightning Web Component. Let me show you that. If I just click on inspect, can you see this component see material form? I'll just click on this. If I want to customize it, I'll just click on pesticide, click here, and we'll just change the background color as per my need. Okay, I like this one. I'll just turn off the pesticide, and there you go. It's fabulous, right? So similarly, you can use different design frameworks inside your Lightning components, especially when you want to display such forms on your communities, on your customized communities, right? User will never know that they are using a Lightning component, but wow, the design is as per their need. Okay, and we can do this, and this is possible inside Salesforce as well. Okay, so there are different recommendations, like for example, you're using a React, just check how you can use the just go to the React documentation, just like I go to the material design documentation, go to the React, just select how you can use the React inside the Lightning web component, and just use those parameters from this as per your need, and you can customize the components as per your need, even though the situations and the requirements are complex. But once it is built, believe me, nobody will believe that this could be possible with inside the Salesforce as well. You can give the similar look and feel to your components. All right, with that, so these are the resources which I have used in the complete session. So I would request each and every one of you to you guys can just take a screenshot of it, take a picture of it. I'll just put this slide for 1 minute on the screen, and I'll be ready to answer any questions or any difficulties you ever face and you want the answer for the customization, I'll be ready for the Q&A. All right. All right. So I'm just heading towards the Q&A. So guys, ask me anything, whatever the queries you have.
Hi
Oh,
Ajinkya, it's Nivedita here.
yes, Nivedita.
Actually, I'm new to Salesforce, so
Mhm.
could you please guide me like how to get the admin certification and what all next things I need to follow?
Sure, Nivedita. Could you please connect with me on this query personally on any platform like LinkedIn or Facebook or anything? Because yeah, because the Q&A will be based on the topic what we discussed today, and I'll surely try to help you with all your personal queries there. Will that be fine?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right. Any questions on the designing perspective or the learnings? Yeah, so I can see Rupa asked what is and how to use media and area tag. All right. All right. So whenever we talk about the media, okay, in your CSS, right? So it is the HTML tag, first of all, okay, and it applies to whenever you want to use any media or okay. So for example, you're using any media inside your HTML, all right. For example, I'm playing a video, okay, or I am trying to display a video or the picture, okay. Now I want to use that media and customize it as per my need. For example, if I scroll down, okay, if I scroll down, I want to play that video, okay, and if I scroll up, I want to pause that video, right? If I'll use directly, okay, so if I use directly inside my code, uh, then it will play automatically. Okay. So for example, so media is used as an attribute. Okay, along with the elements inside the a tag. Okay, like for example, let me show you the a tag, the link tag, or inside the style tag. So what I'll do, I'll just put a media and tab docs. Yeah, I'll just go here. It's I think it's not loaded completely. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's a CSS model interface. Okay. So whenever you want to use a screens, okay, or the primary screens inside your CSS, okay. Like for example, I hover on onto the screen, I want to play the video or change the attributes of that particular media. Okay. So media is as in general terms, right? We call it as the videos, the pictures, all the media as we consider. So whenever you want to play with it, we use this media parameter. All right, and when we use it, when we use the at the rate media. So before it used to be at the rate media, but now with the time and with the upgradation, we use the media screen and we change. You can see the screen and print the body and line height. So for example, whenever you want to change anything into the media, we use the media parameter inside our HTML CSS, and then we customize as per our need. All right, based on the screen and the screen aspect. Like for example, we have the 19 is to 6, right? The ratio. So according to that, how many DPI you want to display, how many pixels, how much, screen you want to acquire for that particular media. So those customizations, for those customization, we use the @media tag inside the CSS. Is that answered your query, Rupa? All right. Yeah, Rupa said yes, and area. Yes. So similarly, area is also the factor. Yeah. So are you talking about the area, the accessibility one? All right. All right. Then I will have the answer on the. So mostly it is not recommended to use it because there are so many restrictions while using it. We generally don't recommend it because as we are using multiple devices, right? So as you can mention that you can see that we use basically this when we are using the widgets on the HTML. Okay, so for example, I want the button here, okay, widget here. I'll just click on that plus button. I want to launch the quick actions, right? So for that, there are different, things which we need to consider that area of the screen, the quick action will never be the same, right? We need always the different area for the widget. So we actually not recommend to use it, but sometimes if you want to use it, you can use it. And this is when it comes to the widget requirement. Okay, like for example, you can see the warning here as well. Many of these widgets were later incorporated into the HTML5, and if such element exists for the instance, native have built the keyboard accessibility. Okay, so nowadays what will happen, we don't go to the particular area and put the volume into it, and nowadays we have the accessibility on the directly the keyboards. Okay, like for example, if I'm scrolling it, right, so I have uh, the control over the keyboard and I can scroll it down, right? So similarly, the different play with your HTML theming and requirements. We use this area, but mostly we avoid using this. I mean, very, very few people who used it, and there are, very uh, special requirements, I would say, in case we use it. So if you have any such requirements, you can tell me, and I can tell you whether you should use this or you may go with the alternative of it. All right, thanks. Thank you, Rupa. So guys, anything else? You can ask me anything on the designing perspective. If you have more questions, I'll be there, and if not, over to you, Isha.
Thank you so much, Ajinkya. That was so knowledgeable, so informative, and without any doubt, that was so interactive as well. Thanks for taking out time. Thank you, all the trailblazers, for being with us. Don't run away, guys. Yes, Rupa, we have recorded this session, and I'll get back to the group leader how we are going to share the recording. Yeah, I'll just thank you everybody for being here, and